notice anything different? Well, first of all, this is a new road I've never vlogged on before, but I'm also using a completely new vlogging rig. I have been using the GoPro Hero 3 Plus for almost 5 years. It's 2013 technology. I got it in January 16, so it was already old then. And at the time, I didn't think I would be making a lot of vlogs. But as it turned out, I did. And even if I'm not vlogging, I like to have a camera rolling when I ride for lots of reasons. And I've never been happy with the video quality or the audio. The Hero 3 Plus is a pretty simple rig. The power was decent. I could get about an hour and 20 minutes on a battery, a 1200 mAh battery. And I had extra batteries if I needed. But that was enough to get me to work, and I would just recharge while there. As time went by, newer versions of the Hero came out, and I passed them all up for a variety of reasons. But finally, I decided to take the plunge, and so this is my first official vlog using the Hero 8. And I have to say, it's working out really well so far. But it was not without its challenges. So let's roll through these real quick. First of all, the pluses. The Hero 8 has integrated feet for mounting, so it doesn't have to go in an external case, which is great. It's also waterproof, which is really awesome. Unfortunately, I'm not going to benefit fully from the waterproof, and I'll explain in a sec. The Hero 8 has one port, and that is a USB-C port. On the Hero 3, I used an external USB microphone, which I believe you could do on the Hero 8 as well, using that USB-C port. However, the issue is power. Unlike the 3 Plus, the power on the stock battery on the 8 is only 55 minutes. And that's not even in full 4K mode. I'm not using 4K, I'm using one notch down. I don't know if it's correct to just call that high definition or what. Presumably 4K uses more power. So that's an issue. So I can't even get to work on 55 minutes. So it looked like the Hero 8 was not going to work after all. However, sometime after they released it, and they released it in 2019 by the way, GoPro released some optional accessories called mods, and the one I got was the media mod. And I will show this in a video that I took of the rig itself shortly. But basically, it's a little case that you slide the GoPro into. Not a case in the traditional sense, but a module, perhaps you could say. And the media mod gives you some expansion. It gives you an HDMI port, a USB-C port, a 3.5 audio jack, which was sorely lacking on previous GoPros. And it gives you a better microphone, which is fixed and not really something that would work out for motovlogging. So the media mod is what made this all possible, but there was a downside, and that is the media mod is not waterproof. So yay for the Hero 8 being waterproof, but if I get caught in one of these famous downpours, I'm gonna have to pull over anyway. But at least if I do get drenched, I can replace the media mod, which is about $80, instead of having to buy a whole new camera. So, oh, incidentally, this road, Towpath Road, runs along the Lackawaxen River, and you will see that momentarily. I discovered this road about a month ago, and it's really nice. This Lackawaxen River runs all the way to the town of Lackawaxen and meets up with the Delaware River, and that's where the Roebling Bridge is, which used to be a viaduct back in the day, you know, before we had a lot of modern transportation. I don't know where this name towpath came from, but it gives me this mental picture of people on this path towing barges and things like that along the side of the river. Okay, so back to the Hero 8. So issues with power and with audio. So what I've done is I've got the media mod and the camera. The mounting feet on the Hero 8 do also work with the media mod. It just kind of goes right through the bottom of it, so that was good. So I have it mounted directly to my helmet. I have an external microphone with a 3.5 millimeter jack, and that plugs into the media mod. And I got the purple Panda microphone. Someone else that does motovlogs recommended it. It's a little, it's a sweet little unit. I'm only using the microphone, and they give you a number of accessories with it, and most of which I'll never use, but it's just really thoughtful, all the stuff that came with it, including the little velvet case. So we'll see how this works out. My previous Sony microphone just never worked out well. If people listen to my vlogs with earbuds, it sounded like the sound was jumping between the left and right ear or something weird like that. It just didn't sound good. So I decided if I'm going to do it, let's do it right. So we'll see how this microphone works out. So that goes into the mod. Then I needed to address the power issue. Even though the stock battery on the 8 is larger than the one on the 3 Plus, because of how much more activity is going on, like I said, you can't even get an hour. So what to do? Someone online said power bank, and I honestly never really thought about that, but they have those power banks that you charge up. You then can plug something into them via USB, and it will charge or keep those things running, and you can use them for cell phones and various things. So I decided to get a 6000 mAh power bank, which is quite small. It's barely the size of a mobile phone, and it'll sit in my jacket pocket up top, probably with my phone or my wallet or something, and I'll just have a small 18-inch cable run right up to the camera. So that is a compromise, but everything about these things is a compromise, and I can live with that. And what's cool about it is that power bank, you know, that will give me almost 4 hours, I believe, 4 to 5 hours, and that's more than I motovlog in a day. So that's great. So just take it for the day. When I come home from work, just charge it overnight and I'm ready to go. So that solved the issue of power, external audio, mounting, and some of the conveniences are not having to have a dedicated case just in order to mount it, which is great. The quality of the video is light years ahead of what I used to have. And it really became obvious when I was looking at that 5 years video. I just put up the video, in that the video quality was just terrible. It's like, man, you know, I gotta do something about this. It's time. And it just so happens right now, August 2020, if you buy a Hero 8, they are $100 off, and they throw in a 32 gig SD card, which sounds like a lot. I used to use a 32 gig card all the time with my 3 Plus, but I guess because the quality of the video is so much better on the 8, it uses like twice as much space for the same time. So I think you can get about an hour with a 32 gig card. I also happen to have a 64 gig card, which I'm using now, and you can just go up from there. That was pretty much all the pieces, and I changed up the mounting a little bit, which I'll show in the video, so I have kind of a new mounting setup as well, and so I'm ready to rock.
Okay, so here it is, the GoPro Hero 8. On the bottom you have these mounting feet that you can pull out. So you no longer have to put it inside a case. You can just mount the camera directly. Some compromises with this. There is a little side door, which I took off. There's the battery, and there's an SD card up in there, which is quite difficult to get out. And this is the only external connector, which is the USB-C. And if you wanted to plug power in there, there's a little door you can get that just has an opening for that port. I'm not sure if you could use a microphone in there. You probably could with a USB connector. That's what I did on my old GoPro. But if you want power and the mic at the same time, that's not going to work too well. So we'll come back to that in, well, let me show you the media mod. This is the next piece. This is an optional part that goes with the Hero 8. And as you can see, it has USB-C. It has another, this is an HDMI, mini HDMI, and it has a 3.5 millimeter microphone jack. It's got a couple of hot shoes, which obviously not going to use on my motorcycle, access to the buttons, and it also has this external microphone, which is better than the standard one with the GoPro. But that's still not going to be useful riding on a motorcycle. So I'm going to open up this side door. You take the GoPro and you just slide it into the media mod, line up that connector, close it, and now there you go. Now the GoPro itself is waterproof. The media mod is not, which is unfortunate because it would have really been nice to have a waterproof setup on my bike. Pull those feet down, and now it can be mounted on the helmet. Let me show you the helmet the way I have it set up on mine. It was pretty tricky. I can't mount on the front because it's just too V-shaped. So I started with the 3M mount over here. This is a pretty flat surface. It's slightly rounded, and I'm using the curved GoPro mounting piece. Then I have the part that goes into that, and it has a nice bit of a standoff. You can see this brings it out away from the helmet a bit, and that's good because I'm going to need some space here when I connect my cables. So after that, I have a couple short little stubby pieces to bring it out. I use screws only on the ones that I'm not going to need to adjust, but I do use these little quick adjusters in 2 spots. Okay, so there is where I have my mounting, and it is off center as you can see, but that's intentional because when I put the GoPro on it, since the lens is off to the side, it will actually be lined up perfectly. So I have an external mic wired up, goes inside of my helmet, and here's my 3.5 inch jack. I'm going to plug that into the media mod. I also have a small USB cable, which is going to go to the power bank and power this. So I'll plug that in as well. And now I can connect this. Okay, so once I get that set in there, I have this little quick adjust screw. So that's pretty much it. I have this one cable. It's going to just hang and go right into my front jacket pocket, and there will be a little power bank in there. So that's my setup. The camera is mounted perfectly over the center of the helmet. I have adjustments for skew and anything else. I can line it up perfectly.
Just a really nice unit. Really impressed with how much tech they cram in such a small little space. And it just looks good. It looks good on the helmet. And I'm really looking forward to getting some nicer videos. And I don't make a lot of motovlogs anymore, but even if I'm not, I like the fact that I've got a record of what's happening when I'm riding. It's not that it's going to protect me in terms of safety, but if something happens involving another vehicle somebody says it was my fault, something like that. It's nice to have video of what happened. And that does make me feel like I have a little bit of, I don't know if security is the word, but it's just a good thing to have. Alright, we got a bagger and a trike. This is a road that gets a fair amount of riders on it. Making moto vlogs these days seems so like first world. But riding is my number one escape. And I don't ride with anyone 99% of the time. So it's not like I could use one of those helmet systems, comm systems, to communicate with other riders and things like that. So the GoPro is, I guess you could say, my thing. And it is kind of cool to capture interesting things that you see when riding and post them online. That's kind of fun. Probably the last piece of this whole moto vlogging thing that sorely needs an upgrade on my part is the editing software that I use. It's barely a stretch to call what I do editing. I mean, I just piece together sections of footage. I hope that this looks as nice as I'm expecting and sounds as nice. I thank you for watching. If you would thumbs up or subscribe if you're not subscribed, I definitely appreciate that as well. Thanks, guys. Till next time. Okay, that looks like a party down there, man.